No, we ain't gonna do no more of that. Y'all got me. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all do a fantastic job. Friday night. Y'all know we about to jump right off the cliff with this one. I'm not playing with y'all tonight. We're not going to start that we at the funeral routine. It's Friday night. We on quarantine. We stuck in the house. So y'all might as well go on ahead and find you a seat in the place. Go and put me on the big screen because tonight is Friday night and I got a whole lot facts over feelings for your Friday night. I hope y'all doing well. We're not going to be depressing nobody tonight. We done got as depressed as we going to get. But we are going to unpack some stuff. So go ahead and let a friend know that we are back on the air until they start interrupting us because we're going to get real close to the truth. Y'all know what we do up in here. It get uncomfortable up in here. It gets so uncomfortable that the man sitting behind the infrastructure of the internet start hitting the button because he can't take it no more. He don't mean to cut y'all off. It's just that it's getting so good to him and it sounds so real to him that he's sitting there wondering what the hell he doing working there. Y'all ready to get it in on a Friday night? I am your host, the official Grandmaster Jay, head of the NFAC. To all my members, welcome. Y'all know we getting ready to make history. We about to do it down in Atlanta, Georgia. And if you haven't heard, Phoenix, Arizona, we are coming to your cities at the same time on the same day, July the 4th, because see, we were slaves when they had July 4th. Our women was getting raped repeatedly on July the 4th. Our kids was getting fed to crocodiles down in Florida on July the 4th. And our men was getting sodomized and butt broken and all kind of things on July the 4th. So you go on ahead to your July the 4th celebration and go ahead and celebrate the red, the white, and the blue, because while you was celebrating the red and the white and the blue, they was beating you red, white, and blue. So we're not doing that. But since they said that we are citizens, well, we feel we're going to exercise our constitutional right to peacefully assemble for the business at hand of setting some things in place for the black nation. I hear a lot of people out there trying to start their own stuff up. But look, sad, too bad for you. We started out the gate first. We just let y'all do y'all thing. We are coming in an organized fashion. And yes, we have a plan. The difference is we'll work with anybody, but we won't let anybody stand in our way. If you don't adhere to the same philosophies that we do, that some of us feel like it's time for us to get the hell up out of here because these people done lost their damn minds up in here, then that's cool. You stay here, but don't you get in our way and try to tell us what we can't do. Just because we start pooling our resources, just because we start patrolling our own neighborhoods, just because we start treating our women like the true queens that they are and not somebody you smack in the face with a skateboard. Don't get in our way. And I know a lot of y'all feel just like I do. But let me go ahead and put it in words for the people out there because a lot of y'all like where you at. You comfortable in your captivity. You don't want to go nowhere. Well, you know what? See, we figured some things out. We figured out who we belong to. Not who the slave master told you you belong to. 240 some years of rape, robbing, and pillaging, they gave you a book. A book that you still cling to. I'm just asking a question. Don't at some point common sense sound like it don't make no sense? Well, that's what they told me. And your dumb ass believe them. Critical thinking. If it don't sound right, it ain't right. Investigate. We here on a Friday night. We got a couple of things to examine. And I want to give a big shout out to all of the folks that have went out and purchased weapons. Yes, I see you. You will be in Atlanta on July 4th, where we're going to exercise our constitutional rights to gather and handle some business. And it's going to be the largest show of force, unified, of the black community since 1906. And I talked about this the other night. See, a lot of y'all don't understand the significance of Atlanta. You don't. Don't nobody sit around and talk to you no more about the Atlanta massacre of 1906. They don't want y'all to remember that. They don't want you to remember how they took the word of 4 white women who said, somebody raped me. And then they went out and attacked every black person they could. Y'all heard about them cops in North Carolina, been on the force a long time. So they couldn't wait. Oh God. He said, oh God, he couldn't wait. It was good to him. I'm going to tell y'all something. And I'm going to be honest with what I'm about to say, and I'm speaking to the black community as a whole. Please listen to what I'm about to tell you. If I ain't never been more serious on facts over feelings, let me give y'all this piece of advice because it's timely right now. There's some information that you only need to break open in case of emergency. This is the information that we need to break open in an emergency. We are in a state of emergency. Stop sitting there in your comfortability because it was written. Not that you might, but that you will have trials and tribulations in this life. So they're basically telling you, look, enjoy yourself while you're here, but shit gonna be going wrong, okay? Let's just get rid. It's gonna go wrong, okay? Now, when you go wrong, learn from it. Because it's just like one of those video games. You know the games where you be going along and you got to get the key and the clawberry and the stars and all of that. Because if you don't have all of those, you can't survive the battle at the end. My people, arise, O Israel. So we're going to get together in Las Vegas. We're going to get together in Atlanta and Phoenix now. And we want y'all to know, we've gone over this several times. We know what the uniform is right now. If you do not have a weapon, you cannot stand in the formation. You can watch it from the side. If you come in the uniform and you don't get one of the bands or sign one of the certificates, then you can't be counted as part of us. That's to protect us from something happening out there. If you do come out there and you bring your weapons, make sure you have some proof that you have a permit that's honored by the state of Georgia. We're talking about handguns. If you have a semi-automatic rifle, a shotgun, or anything of that nature, bring them out. You're allowed to wear your pistol in a thigh holster and a shoulder holster, but no concealed weapons. There'll be no pop-up surprises out there. We're not going to do that. If you need more information, just wait, because I'm trying to keep the haters and the evaders from trying to mess up our day of celebrating our own independence ourselves. Once again, like I said before, we're doing this because they had a massacre back in Atlanta back in 1906, and it happened because of the Atlanta Police Department. My. Look how many years later, they still having the same problem with the same damn people. And if you study the origin of where they came from, it will all make sense to you. That brings me to my very first topic. Before I begin, I got to say something to all my NFAC members. A lot of people think that we are just a black militia. We are a militia, but we're not just a black militia. Our goal is to be the backbone of the new nation that we carve out. Every nation has to have the beginnings of a military somewhere. So we've begun to form ourselves into pockets of militants, not to start trouble, but to protect our people, because nobody is protecting our people right now. And now we got a bunch of people trying to attach themselves to this. No, this one right here is slippery. This one right here, the door is closed. This one right here, there are no handles. This is all of us in a little balloon clicking our heels together saying, there's no place like home, our own damn home. Y'all ain't ready for this tonight. Not tonight. Oh, no. I've been waiting too long to see you. I've been waiting. I've been thinking about y'all all day. I knew somebody would pull up in here talking about, you know what? I'm tired of hearing that they talking out there, because that don't even sit right with me. What they saying over here don't match what I see over here. What I see over here damn sure resemble what I'm doing over here. And he's not telling me exactly what I think. We get together here so we can clear our minds. We get together here where we show you the practical application between what's in the physical world and what's in the spiritual world. Notice I didn't say the religious world. I didn't say that. I said spiritual. And only if you're a melanated creature do you understand what I'm saying. Even if you don't think you understand, you feel what I understand. You know that. You can feel it in your spirit. Like when people are telling me, it feels like something's coming. It feels. You standing out in the middle of the woods. Here come the comedy. You standing out in the middle of the woods because I don't know what you're doing out in the middle of the woods. The story got to start in the middle of the woods. You're out in the middle of the woods and all the birds go that way. Now, let's just look at the genetics right here, because if you're a melanated person, when the birds go that way, we're going that way. Okay, we don't want to hear what that was. We're going to figure it out on the back end. Am I lying? My people holler at me, say, talk black man. But if you don't have that frequency with the melanin, you don't feel the vibe. So you're standing there and all the birds go that way. And what's going on here? and of course, once again, we right back on Mutual Omaha Wild World. The lion then eats the prey, that type. So it's because you understand that there's been a wave in the melanin that, and y'all keep hearing me talk about melanin. Somebody said, well, why don't we teach about melanin? You know, I had the dubious honor of meeting Dr. Layla Africa before he passed away, rest in peace. And one of the things that he always talked about were the levels of melanin. that are in people, the 7 different levels, and and they rank you by superiority because of your melanin. You know what creature has the highest level of melanin? You do. That's why they hate you. Oh, yes, 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 yes. One of the tenets of the NFAC is that we've already decided to adopt the 10-point step program that was created by the Black Panthers back in the 1960s. These were 10 things they wanted just so that the Black community could get a good footing in the door and move itself forward. These were not the type of things that says we were going to pack up and leave. This was what we needed to do right now so that we could survive. Survive right where we are. We won't, and if you're anybody who's a student of the Panthers, you ought to have these like burned in skull. We want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of the Black community. Ain't that what we're trying to do right now? We want full employment for our people. That's all we want. We should get a job anyway. We were slaves. You know what's crazy? They always talk about equal opportunity, but it's not equal. Not when you got a 246-year head start. How's it equal? That's like that's like playing Monopoly and I go around the board 3 times before you get to roll once. Then I'm talking about going ahead and play. I got hotels everywhere. Got the little greenhouse. I got the shoe. Somebody in the back said you got the iron. Yeah, I got the iron, the little car. Okay. What's the other one? The boat. I got everything. And now I want you to get in the game. And I got both to get out of jail free cards because you don't get that. Okay? That's what, you can't tell us that. So we got it every week. We should be automatically given a job. We want to end to the robbery by the capitalists of our Black and oppressed communities. The capitalists. You know what the capitalist is? The people in your neighborhood making money off of you and taking that money back up to their neighborhood. Now their neighborhood is dope. Don't nobody speak English up there, but it's dope. They got a precinct. They got little solar lamps. They got everything. You come back down your way, you got potholes, tear up damn your wheels on your car. It's crazy. We want decent housing, only fit for human beings. Notice I said fit for human beings. So y'all go out and y'all forget about everybody else. Y'all got a house with 12 rooms, 18 bathrooms, 5 washrooms, 25 bathtubs, 8 garages. You know what I'm saying? And it's just you. Meanwhile, over here, my man is living in a box in the most wealthiest city in America. In a box. And y'all walk right past him like you don't see him. See, that's what I mean about we got to take care of each other. We got to stop that. I don't know what it's going to take. You know what? I know what it's going to take because I saw it happen at the beginning of the epidemic. When y'all ran to the store, people showed their true colors. People showed you, y'all think we all together. Y'all think that it's a movement together. Y'all think there's the Me Too and all. You think Black Lives Matter. Huh? Let us have to fight over resources for real. They're going to stick together as a people. That's your nature. But some of y'all are not going to get that until it's much too late. We want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. We want education that teaches our true history and our role in present day society. We don't want 1 month. You know, during this month, these Negroes came over and they were happy servants. And then, of course, some of them were freed and they're with us today. They don't work. They're lazy. They stay on welfare. And, well, you just got to kind of look out for them. No, that's not our history. Let's flip that over. Oh, the Black folks. Well, the Black folks are really the descendants. They're hostages, really. You know, they're peoples. We enslaved their people. We brought them over here. We lied about everything. Even the ones that were here, that's who these people are. Shh. They don't know. They don't know. They really came from a great civilization that it took us centuries to whip their ass. We could not get in there for nothing. They were more advanced. Then when we did get somebody in there, we saw riches like we never saw. The people were beautiful. Everybody was all dark and shiny and muscular. I didn't know what was going on. They weren't eating the animals. They had fruit. They were growing. They had gold. They had temples. We had to go see the Pharaoh. They had a complete political system. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything like it. We eventually took over those motherfuckers and sold them into slavery. Yeah. And then we beat them and raped them. And then we didn't tell them what their whole past was. And they grew up not knowing that shit. And they still don't know. Shh. And guess what? We're going to kill them. We're going to kill every last one of them. They don't think we know. That's the world you live in. That is exactly the world you live in. That's why we have, and you've heard me say this before, people. Everybody on this live has high self-esteem. I hope you do. I hope you're not watching this while you're about to jump out a window. Don't do that. Get help. But we have horrible racial esteem. I talked about this earlier. Chancellor Williams talked about it in The Destruction of the Black Civilization. That the way we treat each other. We don't care whose fault it is. Y'all stop all of this running around playing detective. You ain't trying no case. So what if you found out where something came from? Who really did it? What you gonna do about it? If you can't change it, don't waste your mental energy on that. Let's waste our mental energy on how are we going to construct a nation build? Everybody bringing something to the table. Who got the blueprint? How are we going to stand this thing up? Where are we going to stand it up at? How much it going to cost us? What we got to trade? Who know how to fight? How are we going to defend this thing? We got nurses, we got doctors, we got teachers. Who know about landscaping? What about electric infrastructure? Anybody know anything about nuclear power plants? Who know how to fly an airplane? Yeah, we're going to get us a spot and grow like everybody else. You see, that's how we should be thinking. Them conversations should be happening all over the place. Look, y'all, I hate to be the one to break the news to you, but times changed. They changed right in front of your face. And a lot of y'all are still living at the turn of the decade. We're in a new decade. You do know a decade is 10 years, right? And you know what a decade is. If you know anything about the tetragrammaton, which I talked about months ago, you know about the decade, okay? 10. So you just closed out a 10-year cycle. Now everything starts new. This is a whole new decade you in. You in the 20s. You done survived the 60s, some of y'all. Made it, the boogies your way through the 70s. Hip-hopped your way through the 80s. Gangster rapped your way through the 90s. You get what I'm saying? And then auto-tuned your way all the way from 9/11 to now. The shit is ridiculous. But the point I'm making is, we got our mind on the wrong things, y'all. We do. They said we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of America. They want America to teach you the truth. They want you to teach you about Black Wall Street. Today's students, we're going to study Black Wall Street. And it ain't going to be no joke. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be disgusting. It's going to make you not want to do it when you get older. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the assassination of Malcolm X. We're going to tell you what he was all about. Not that he was a killer or a criminal, but the great things and the sacrifices he made for his people. And then after that, we're going to talk. That teach us. Stop talking at us. Ugh. I guess y'all can tell I wasn't a fan of the indoctrination. We also want all black men to be exempt from military service. You see, this country has a history of that when their ass is in a sling, they want it's all hands on deck. Oh, we all Americans now. But when we come back, we get pulled out the car, get a knee put in our neck and shot. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what we're doing. I hate to be the one to tell you about this, but I'm pretty sure y'all heard the situation about the poor young man that they wrestled to the ground and then shot him up with a particular drug. Now, I'm going to show y'all how they do things in your face, and you have to pay attention. That's why movies are always clues. They show you what they like to flaunt stuff in your face because they know you stupid. That's how they think of it. They say they dumb. They ain't gonna figure this shit out. But some of us sit back and be sitting back watching the movie talking about the guy come in the room. And y'all remember this line right here. He said, how'd they do? He said, well, one of those guys had ketamine in his system. He says, and he says, well, it's a tranquilizer. Some of these guys are pretty big. He said, for horses. So as soon as I heard that this young man had got shot with ketamine, I said, well, wait a minute. Why is wait a minute, stop. Y'all remember the movie Red, Retired, Extremely Dangerous with Bruce Willis? Y'all remember the scene where the dudes came to his house to try to kill him and one of them had this syringe and Bruce Willis took it and stuck it in his neck and the dude instantly died? Every time you turn around, they got some shit in one of these stories where they sticking a needle in your ass. That's not our style. That's not melanated people's style. We don't stick shit in you. We don't tie ropes around your neck. That's some jungle. We don't do that. We're much more creative with our assassination styles. Understand what I'm saying? NFAC know what I'm talking about. But what the point I'm making is, I said, wait a minute, that drug, ketamine is a medication and it's mainly used for starting and maintaining anesthesia. It induces you into a trance-like state. It gives you pain relief and it sedates you and it also makes you lose your memory. Think about it. It makes you lose your memory. So what happened? Did they beat your ass? What happened? What happened? You was walking down the street and I don't remember. It makes you lose your goddamn memory. And then they stuck him up 3 times. They meant to kill that boy. And the people in the ambulance was complicit. Yeah, the cop, the whole thing seemed like an operation. Just think about it. I'm walking down the street, minding my own damn business. So what if I'm listening to whatever? Here these fools come out of nowhere, jump right out the car. Next thing you know, I'm on the ground and the ambulance dude drive up and hop out and what happened to my 4th Amendment rights? Did you have a search warrant? Did you have an order from a judge to stick a goddamn needle in my body? Y'all don't see what they doing? Man, y'all better, if y'all don't wake up, we're going to be the only part of my NFAC, we're going to be the only motherfuckers left. I'm going to have to go ahead and say it just like it is. I'm sorry, I know I'm offending somebody's ears, but we're going to be the only motherfuckers left. You know why? They're not getting it. They really not getting it. They coming out the woodworks with everything now. First they started off like, I'm gonna shoot you. Nobody ain't looking, okay. Now we're gonna snatch you. We're gonna snatch, put you in the van, we'll take you away. Now we're gonna lynch you. We're lynching you now. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. They still ain't flipped. Put a knee in his neck. Put a knee in his neck. When they still ain't flipped. Okay, what we gonna do next? Shoot that boy in the back. He's sleeping in his car. We're gonna shoot the boy in the back. You understand what I'm saying? They amping it up slowly on you. Slowly. And y'all still standing there like a deer in the headlights. Ketamine? Are you serious? It stops your heart. Your heart function, your breathing, and your airway flexes, they relax. They relax. It's like what they did to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was, I'm going to tell you the truth. Michael Jackson was messing around with some serious drugs. But let me go ahead and say something for you young folks who really don't know what happened to one of the most talented people that ever happened. See, a lot of y'all are too young to remember when they set Mike's head on fire. Okay, let me go ahead and tell y'all the story. Back in the day, before we wore our hair like this, we used to wear what was called a jerry curl. Okay, once again, because we didn't know who we really was. There you go, the white man pushing some type of chemical on us. And even some black companies with the help was pushing on us too. Now, every time you turned around, black folks was doing something different to their hair. Way back in the 20s, it was the process. They trying to make their hair straight like a white person. But no, that's not how our hair is. Okay, there's a difference between hair and fur. Let's have that discussion some other time. Then we went to what was called the blowout. Then in the blowout, you braid your hair up and boom, you had a bush. Then we stayed with the bush. And then eventually it came down to the fade. Y'all remember the fade? Then the fade got messed up and it became the Bobby Brown. Then the Bobby Brown, then you had all that going on. And then all of a sudden, everybody was dreaded out. We dreaded. Everyone was dreaded out. And then we growing out locks in the whole 9 yards. But then being bald headed was cool. So everybody shaved their hair off. Every time you turned around, we had something we were doing with our hair. Well, Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 were very much a part of black culture back then. And believe it or not, I'm telling you this story because it was also an example of how we were unified as a community. Everybody did what everybody else did. And we did it with such style that other races used to try to imitate us. They tried to walk like us. They tried to talk like us. They wanted our slang. This is stuff that we didn't care who heard it. It's how we communicated. That's why to this day, they have a problem with not being able to use the N-word the way that Richard Pryor started using it back in the 70s. Because when he did it, it was funny because he was telling a joke about us because he's one of us. But you can't stand your ass up there and say nothing like that and think that one of us ain't gonna throw a damn can of gasoline on your ass and set you on fire because your people for 246 years stole my damn people, killed them, enslaved them, and then set them loose in this damn land. And when they tried to build some, you burnt it down, and then you run around trying to act like we don't matter. I don't want to hear no goddamn jokes from you. And I mean that. Now run tell that. No morals, no standards. That shit ain't funny. We're living in a different time, y'all. We're living in a different time. They shot that boy up with ketamine. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. You know, somebody once said that the wicked flee when no man pursues, but the righteousness are bold as a lion. That's Proverbs 28:1. Now, the reason I cite that verse, because most of y'all don't understand that verse explains one reason why America's systematic racism continues 150 some odd years later after slavery. You see, white supremacists see all African Americans as a threat, not because we've earned their fear, but because of the great sin that they've done against us. Don't y'all understand? It's a guilt complex. They're afraid of the payback. But the universal law, let me talk to y'all real quick about universal laws, because some of y'all y'all get it confused when you don't realize that there's some stuff you just can't change. If I take, y'all remember the Rubik's Cube? Remember the Rubik's Cube? The Rubik's Cube was interesting because some people could do it like in 20 seconds and get it all together. I'm not going to sit here and do that, but I know if I throw it in the air, it falls back down. Why? Because of gravity. The law of gravity was here before you got here. It's going to be here when you leave. I guarantee you, if you jump out the window, it's going to be there. If you fall out of plane, it will be there. Matter of fact, if I fall out this chair, it will be there. It is a law that Yahweh put in place before he even invented us. Gravity is a law of the universe. Do you understand? Good. Here's the law that's relevant to what we're talking about right now when it comes to what has happened since the 400 years is up. And while all of this stuff is happening, why you got people like me coming before you, people popping out the woodwork, people out here having dreams. You know you're having them dreams. People are having visions because you can feel it in the air that something's coming. Something's coming. Something coming. I don't know what it is, but something coming. Something in the sky. Something in the ground. Something coming. I can feel it in my spirit. Because there's another law that exists in the universe before any of this existed. And that's the law of karma. Everything equals out. For every action, there's an equally strong reaction. You can't abuse and kill and maim and degenerate the people that God placed here to be his chosen ones and think that it's not going to balance out sooner or later. And it ain't going to be pretty. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. Y'all want some nice cushy story. Y'all don't want to look up and realize, look what's happening all around you. Okay. You thinking that it's just these folks right here. No. You got to realize that there are people out here right now that, they can't sleep at night. They can't live easy among people who were treated so horribly and who are yet victimized by economic depression, prison slavery. And I call it prison slavery because remember, let no man be a criminal. Be a slave lest he be a criminal. They turn these guys into criminals and put them right back into slavery conditions. So yes, slavery is back. They just got it behind the walls. So I say economic depression, prison slavery, and weekly lynchings. Weekly lynchings. Are you hearing me? We don't have a lynching every 3 months now. It's like daily lynchings, 2, 3 a day. What's going on? And don't nobody see nothing. Think about it. The only way that somebody could lynch somebody in a park that nobody pays any mind is if it's a police car. If it's a goddamn police car or a police SUV. Ain't nobody gonna look over there to see what's going on. Matter of fact, you gonna try not to look over there. You gonna snatch some boy off the street, put some tape across his mouth, got him in the back of the car, muscle him all up. Don't nobody know nothing. Y'all got tinted windows. You drive them all around. Don't nobody, you the police. Then you pull right up there and you can pull the truck right up there under the tree because it ain't no bench. How the hell he get up there? You throw the rope around his neck, put him up there, stand him up in the truck, drive off. He hung, y'all gone. But y'all don't understand what's happening. And there are people around us that's comfortable. They comfortable, y'all. They comfortable knowing that what they know about you. Don't that bother you? They look you in your face and they smile at you. How you doing? Let me tell you how bad it is. A group of those people did not want you to be free. They didn't want you to be a person. They don't see you as a person anymore. And then they try to keep you. They won't letting you go. So they had a war about you. And the people who tried to keep you, who lost the war, just to rub it in your face, they put up statues, carved their name in mountains. Name schools after themselves, bridges and shit. You driving across something that's named after somebody who used to rape your grandmama. You understand what I'm saying? Castrated your little boys. Because they know you don't know. Shh. You don't know. You don't know. Then when the shit come up, everybody let's take it down. That's indignant. No, that's because you're not educated in this country. You are indoctrinated. And if we're going to have a nation of our own, we got to break away from that. You got to question everything around you now because they got you where they want you. This matrix is all around you. You ain't got to be able to touch it. Can't you see it with your own senses? When you go into a store to buy a gun and they tell you, well, you got to come back in 30 days and you say, okay, and you leave. Well, you didn't know any better. If you go into a store to buy a gun and then they call the little FBI number and no response comes back, not yes or no, but no response. They can't find you in the system nowhere. That means that in 3 days, you can come back and that weapon is yours. By law, they have to give it to you. And I've watched them do that with white people who walk right in. Oh, it's no problem. They act like they buying a shaver for their face, put it in a case and give them a kiss of a brand new toaster and everything. Send their ass away. Sister girl walked up. I'm standing back there. I told y'all about this. Sister girl walked up. She did everything everything right. She told him what she wanted, blah, blah, blah. Looked at the gun, had her ID, was ready to rock and roll. That man stood there and tried to tell her everything he could to talk her out of buying that damn gun. It got so bad, I had to stick my mouth in it. I walked up and said some crazy shit, y'all. I just walked up and just jumped in the conversation, just went like, cause she had this rifle in her hand. I went, if it was me, I wouldn't even get that. I'd get that 12 gauge Mossberg with the extended shot. She said, I said, and looked the motherfucker right in the face and was like, now sell her the gun. Ain't nobody stupid. But they'll do that because they'll prey on your ignorance. Big shout out to the sister that called me that they was doing that too. Man, y'all know, look, we family. So don't tell nobody I did this. Just keep this between us, okay? This is a private session, y'all. Just don't tell nobody. But she called me up and she said, the man won't give me the gun. She called me. She called. I love old people when they get upset because their style is so direct. They like, I'll show your ass. And she called me up and she said, the man won't give me the gun. I said, the man won't give you the gun. Why the man won't give you the gun? She said, I don't know. I said, is the gun in the store? She said, the gun is in the store. I said, okay. Did you pass the background check? I passed the background check. Then why won't he give you the gun? She said, he got to wait so many days. I said, go on back down there, turn your phone on and ask him specifically what the reason is. And before you do, look up the law for your state. You'll see that there's no waiting period. So if he doesn't give you the weapon and you've already paid for it, then go back in there and make sure you ask him why. I said, is this a gun store or a gun shop? She said, no, it's a gun store. I'm like, okay, just make sure and get his name. She came back and told me, she was like, he said the same thing. Well, I still can't. I was like, okay, no problem. I had my lawyers call the manager of the store, not of the department, of the store, and specifically asked them, is it true that we hear y'all down there denying black people their Second Amendment rights to bear arms? Is that really true that y'all are holding on to weapons in violation of such and such a state code, tell us it ain't so, because if it is, we're not only going to blow the whistle on your ass, we're going to put you on ABC, CBS, CNN, the cooking channel, the weather channel. We're going to put you on the shopping network. Then on top of that, we're going to sue your ass. So how about you just go ahead and get that lady the gun? Mama, I heard you. She called me back. She's like, I got my gun, Jay. I'm ready. I hear you, Mama. I see you at the formation. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all got to get your head out of Gucci. Get your head out of Jordan and put your head in black people. Because if y'all don't, look, they lost the war. Watch this. If you ever question whether or not your president was a racist, like you haven't, here's the definitive proof. Today, President What's-His-Face said that he signed an executive order on protecting monuments. Yes. If you remember, if you saw the tweet, he said, I just had the privilege of signing a very strong executive order protecting American monuments, memorials, and statues. He's combating recent criminal violence. Listen what it says. It says that if they catch you vandalizing or destroying any monument, statue, or other such federal property in the U.S., that the fine is 10 years in prison. Now, whose statues is getting towed down these days? I'm sorry, last time I checked, I didn't see nobody pull down the statue of the guys holding the flag when they were fighting in Iwo Jima. I ain't seen nobody after that. Last time I checked, I didn't see nobody go. They turned down all of the statues of y'all victory lap that you lost, of the war that you lost. That's why your flag to us is just like the Nazi flag to Jews. Y'all don't understand that? You get what I'm saying to you? But he signed an act that says you can't tear it down no more. Now, if you don't think that man racist, how about this right here? He also made a decision today to bring 4,000 troops home from Afghanistan. Where them troops going? Matter of fact, what happened to the troops that they put in all of the cities right when the quarantine was going on? Because I didn't see none of them leave. I didn't see no tanks roll out. See, y'all think we stupid. Go look at this. Go look at the convention center in your city. I guarantee you they got soldiers set up and they're living in them right now because they've been setting them up for a minute. Y'all got to wake up. Look. I'm pretty sure y'all, let me show you, ladies, I got to talk to you real quick because y'all falling for this hook, line, and sinker. They just love playing my sisters. He said, I'm going to pick me a female vice president. Yeah, all the women got amped. And then he started showing pictures of black women. And black women like, I messed with that Biden. And then they had a headline that broke out today that said, nation's reckoning on race looms over final month of Biden's running mate search. So they're trying to make it like, fuck Biden, he's good. Let's look at the woman. Don't look at Biden, right? But I got one question on facts over feelings. Candidate Biden You know, as a former presidential candidate myself, if we were on a debate stage, I probably would do this number on you. But since I'm not, because y'all keep us out, let me take a swig. I would probably want to ask you your point of view after you made this statement that you once said that you didn't want your kids to grow up in a racial jungle in regards to desegregation. How would you speak to that now that you are running for the presidency of the United States? Because I happen to be of that persuasion. I never felt like I was in a jungle going to school with the rest of my counterparts. And I'm pretty sure nobody up here feels like they too have been in a jungle. But you felt that it would be a jungle if your children went to school with black children. Would you mind explaining that? And let the cameras focus on his ass. And y'all got to stop falling for stop falling for it. Wake up. Stop falling for it. They're running a game. See, that's why they don't like me, because I ran. I know the game. I know the campaign strategists. I know how they sit around and think about what button can we push to get y'all vote. They want your vote. You don't have to go Democrat. You don't have to go Republican. You do have some say-so in this, because you got money attached to your name. But they're not telling you that part right there. They don't want you to know that part right there. You know why? Because if they do, we got to own up to the ugly past again. And the ugly past is we still haven't dealt with the trauma of slavery. You have not repaired these people, because what you did to them was so heinous. You can't even, you scared to deal with them because you think they might flip at any moment. But then again, you're too stupid to believe that the shit that you keep doing to us, we're going to flip at any moment. See, you damned if you do, and you damned if you don't. Reparations. We say reparations, all of a sudden everybody want to have a meeting. We say reparations, they got to think about it. They say reparations, they got to form a committee. We say reparations, and everybody suddenly, they don't give more money to Black Lives Matter and these fake ass groups than they thought about giving to reparations. You want to really show us that Black Lives Matter? Then take the money that you're giving all these groups that ain't going to do shit and divide it up amongst all of the African Americans in this country. That'll be a goodwill gesture. Don't keep telling them we're going to give $100 million to racial sensitivity. Racial sensitivity don't live on my street. And then they'll tell you, well, it's something that, America would never go for it and blah, 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 blah. Really? Let me explain to you what reparations are. Reparations is a political justice concept. It's making amends, and it argues that reparations should be paid. Not lip service, paid. And if you think that they're not doing it, they're already paying reparations for other people. Look. In 1990, the United States paid $1.6 billion to Japanese Americans. They paid them that much. In 1990, they gave Austria $25 million to the Holocaust survivors. That was paid to the Jewish claims in Austria. In 1988, they gave Canada 250 square miles of land. They gave it to the Eskimos and the Indians. In 1988, Canada paid $213 million to the Japanese Canadian. Everybody getting broke off but us. Yet from 1865 to the present, the United States has paid $0 for slavery and for Jim Crow. And that will be paid to the African American black descendants. But if we bring that up, oh, no. Y'all found money for some fake ass disease, but you can't find money. Now we got a bigger problem. And our bigger problem is this. And I'm still going to get to we got a long way to go. Y'all get comfortable. This is just the first hour. I got to get through all the bullshit first. And then we find out all the police want to quit. And we wonder why they want to quit. Well, the reason they want to quit, because now it's coming to light. I know I talked about this about 5 years ago and nobody listened. I said, did anybody see this report that came out from the FBI that the white supremacists had infiltrated law enforcement? And that they infiltrated. See, they didn't tell y'all this part. This is the part that's really gonna mess with you. They didn't tell you that they also infiltrated the military at the same time. Now, a lot of people be like, well, just like y'all did with my presidential campaign. You'll say, well, I missed that. Guess what? If you know what, they hide the stuff in plain sight. They don't hide it from you. Now, you know me, I had to go and dig it up myself. And if you go and you look somewhere on the FBI crime database, there is a report called White Supremacist Recruitment of Military Personnel since 9/11, dated July 7, 2008, filed by the Federal Bureau of Investigation Intelligence Assessment Bureau. Now, I've looked at this whole thing. It ain't long. But guess what? Mine is not redacted. They put this out there and nobody ever thought about it. Now, all of a sudden, it's redacted. You know what redacted means? Like on Thursday 5th, black line, black line, black line. Not this one right here. So I'm looking at this report, y'all. And I know they probably on their way to see me right about now. But I'm looking at the extremism part of this report. And somewhere here on page 8 under recruitment of military experience into white supremacist extremism. Y'all just came up with a term for us last year. Black identity extremists. You know what I'm saying? The BIE. But all the way back for what, 15 years y'all already knew about white supremacist extremism in the military? That's just one report. I got another report right here too. So y'all got to be careful when us that know about as much as computers as you do. White supremacist infiltration of law. 17 October 2006. Not a very long report, y'all. But one of the things that jumps out, it says, although white supremacist groups have historically engaged in strategic efforts to infiltrate and recruit from law enforcement communities, the primary threat from infiltration or recruitment arises from the areas of intelligence collection and exploitation, which can lead to investigative breaches and can jeopardize the safety of law enforcement sources, personnel, and the general public. So y'all already knew about this shit and didn't say nothing? And then you wonder why they started militarizing the police. Man, y'all don't understand. They hook, line, and setting y'all up. They done built the wall around you. They done put the barbed wire up. They done put up the floodlights. Then they trying to close the gates. They done got a little sloppy at the end because they woke us up. Now they trying to hurry up and close the gate. But no, we see them closing the gate. Now they trying to just hold the gate together, but we pushing on the gate. Now they think the people at the gate is their problem. What they don't realize is coming up from the rear is us because it's our time. Right here on Facts Over Feelings. So I looked at this report and it's something to read. I'm being honest with you. On Sunday morning, they had the National Security Advisor, Robert O'Brien. They asked him what he thought about systemic racism. You know, was it a problem in law enforcement agencies in the United States? And you know what he said? He said, I don't think there's systemic racism. I think 99.9% of our law enforcement officers are great. But there are a few bad apples. Let me explain to you what that means. That is a psychological argument to basically say we're all good. He did it. That's not the fact. When you have a culture of corruption, when you have a culture of rape, when you have a culture of corruption and robbery, when you have a culture of systemic racism, it's not one person. You don't join the military and become a bad apple. You join the military and you adapt to the culture. And then you do what we do. You say what we say. You wear what we wear. You eat how we eat. You ever seen one of your friends come home from the military? They're like they all got spit out the same damn machine. So you can't come in there and say it's a few bad apples. They played that same game on y'all during the protest. When they start kneeling with you, they're trying to act like it's them when it's all of them. Damn. So of course this guy is coming. This guy is one of the idiots, right-hand people. And he's sitting there saying it ain't no problem. Y'all ain't talking to me. We can't get reparations. And now they're protecting the statues. Don't y'all understand what's going on? Okay. I gotta go to the word. Okay. Somewhere around chapter 55, it says, verse 2, it says, and they came upon a wind from the east. Has any of y'all paid attention to what's happening? This big wind and came from the east and this big cloud is rolling over like it's never rolled before. The headlines they got in USA Today said it's Godzilla size compared to anything before. No, you got your head in this word and realize they're trying to destroy you. And you're not paying attention to the signs in the skies. Chapter 55. Y'all come on now. We're in the first book of Enoch. And they came upon the wind from the east. And the sound of the noise of the chariots was heard. And when that agitation took place, the saints of heaven perceived it. And the pillar of the earth shook from its foundation. They just had an earthquake. They had an earthquake in Vegas. They had an earthquake in Mexico. They had an earthquake in Ghana. Don't y'all got your head in the wrong book. Wake up. That's the purpose of this exercise. I say it again. And when that agitation took place, the saints of heaven perceived it. That's us. We sense it. And the pillar of the earth shook from its foundations. And the sound heard from the extremities of the earth unto the extremities of heaven at the same time. And they fell down. And we all should worship. And that's what it said. And that's the end of that second parable. But don't get mad at me. I didn't write it. I just repeated it to you because apparently it looks like it's fitting for what's happening right in our face. Matter of fact, I think I saw something in the Houston Chronicles where they had you can see the dust. It's over Houston. You can't even see Houston. Now you want me to believe that the dust from the desert blew all the way up in the air, blew all the way across the ocean, never went down. And now it's so thick that it's blotting out the sun all the way down to Puerto Rico. I'm sorry. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. Y'all don't even sit around and try to come up with nothing good no more. Y'all don't want to admit what's really happening because you don't want to realize that what you've done, you're going to have to pay for sooner or later. And we have a job. Our job is not to sit back and play the victim. Oh, no, there have been enough victims. There have been enough victims. What about Breonna Taylor? Breonna Taylor was a victim. And it's been almost 30 days, and they still ain't arrested nobody. And that girl, I'm just... If y'all, I mean, it can't be nobody on this live that doesn't know the story with Breonna. Here you got two law-abiding people. I'm just going to say it, two law-abiding people. Didn't even have a criminal record. They can't get no more innocent than that. That's a lot of y'all. You go to work every day, you come home, you're with your family. And you're not safe in your own house because of the incompetence of the people that you trust to protect you. Oh, no. She was 26 years old at the time. She got shot by the Louisville Metro Police Department. That was on March the 13th of 2020. And the person that they were looking for was a guy by the name of Jamarcus Glover and Adrian Walker. They were supposed to be selling some controlled substances from a drug house more than 10 miles away. You know what I'm saying? I have I really can't understand the logic of these cave people. I can't. I don't think, it's like half the time they brain be on and the other time, I don't know. And then you have to also understand that why would they make this report about the military? The military is a different environment, but it's still just as jacked up as the rest. I'm going to spend a few minutes and talk to y'all about somebody that a lot of y'all have forgotten about. And for those people who are watching that are trying to do some type of an exegetical comparison between what we talk about here and what your teachers teach you, when you come over here, you hear the truth. Let me give you a warning from our Creator. He says, woe unto you who confuse wickedness, who boast and honor false words. You are lost. Woe unto you who alter the words of truth and pervert the eternal law. They reckon themselves not guilty of sin, and they shall be trampled upon on the earth. So I'm going to spend a few minutes to talk about Lavinia Johnson. Lavinia Johnson. You should know the name. Same way you should know Kendrick Johnson. But Lavinia Johnson is one of those stories that really bothered me as a soldier. Because as a soldier, I've been places where there have been nothing but men. And then I've been places where it's a mixture of men and women. And then I've been places where the atmosphere is so toxic and dangerous to women that I really would never want to send my daughter into the military knowing what I know. And when I heard her story, because I've been in that situation, the details of what came out of her murder in a military environment disturbed me so much that I had to investigate it. And a lot of y'all, it's going to get kind of tight in here. I'm going to have to ask you if you have small children. I'm still respectful that they leave the room right now because I'm going to say some things that I don't think a child should hear. If you are young of age and your mother or father has entrusted you with a cell phone and you're watching my live, I'm going to give you fair warning. You may want to listen to your big brother and go find something to do for a couple of seconds. But when soldiers first come to Permanent Party, that's where we are. They're the new jacks on the block. They don't know anything. They don't know nobody. They don't know the difference between the officers. They don't know anything. They don't know the non-commissioned officers. They're just a new soldier. And they've got nothing but respect for those of us who have rank on our collars, because that's the brainwash in the military. It's all about discipline. It's all about obeying the person above you. Y'all, my military people holler at me. So she was brand new. Okay. And not only that, she gets deployed to a combat zone. And if you don't know anything about a combat zone is like everything is for itself. You got to make it up as you go along. We're very good at improvising. Everybody's trying to be comfortable while we out in the middle of damn nowhere. The last thing that you see are women in a combat zone. You do not see women. You can see them in a support role, but not in forward deployed combat units. It's ugly. No, ladies, stop it. You don't want to trust me. You don't want to be there. So when you see a female, I told you, get your kids out of here. When you see a female, a lot of these guys are socially handicapped. A lot of them are socially damaged. They're socially misfits. That's why they're in the military. That's why they're where they are. There used to be a time when they sentenced you to prison or sent you to the military. So even though you got some brilliant guys there like me, who's half psychotic most of the time, you had some really psychotic clowns running around. And then the other thing that they do is that when you leave the military, you can actually become a contractor and go back. But you're not a soldier anymore. So you're not under the authority of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Now you got a young lady who's never been anywhere, who ends up overseas in Afghanistan. And she won't there but 2 months. So when you first get there, you don't know nobody. Pretty little girl, cute, intelligent, could have went to college, came to the Army instead. Somebody or somebodies, I believe it had to be more than one person. I'm sorry. It had to be more than one person, because what was done, because I know the military and what they said. First of all, she couldn't have, they said she shot herself with an M16, but the autopsy revealed her arms were too short to pull an M16. So that, and plus on top of that, they said the bullet wound came from this side. The M16 in your mouth doesn't put a bullet in your head this way. So somebody shot her, amongst other things that they did to her. This woman was raped. They tried to destroy the evidence with chemicals. Then they shot her. They hit her in the mouth and broke all of her teeth, pushing everything back in. They blacked her eyes. It was horrible. And then if that wasn't bad enough, then they set her on fire. Then they redressed her in her clothes and dragged her to a tent, put her in the tent, and then put the weapon there like she killed herself, even though there was a trail of blood. And the Criminal Investigation Command investigated and said that, nah, she killed herself. The reason I bring this up is because she's not the only black woman that is raped and murdered in the Army, and they don't say anything about it. It's an entire culture. There are some terrible stories of some beautiful sisters that turn up in the worst situation. Ladies, I'm just telling you this so that you're aware. It's not just happening here. It's happening in places you don't see it. They don't want y'all to know this. But her story disturbed me the most because there was so many. She was in Iraq. Matter of fact, she was in Balad. And matter of fact, she was the first casualty. They said she was the first casualty, but casualty of what? Brothers, I'm telling you this because we got to look out for our sisters. If you see your sister over there in a situation and don't mind your business, bro, that's our future. Go on over there and be a man about it. But don't pull your phone out and be no coward. I'd rather you not even be there. I seen the video, the cop got the girl on the ground, got his knee on her neck, and his boy tasing her at a strip club, and y'all standing there. You know what? I'm going to be honest with y'all. When I was growing up, I saw many fights. Matter of fact, I was in a lot of fights. Fighting was what we did. Fighting was a part of our neighborhood. I'm always talking about back in the day. Let me tell y'all something else about the black neighborhood that y'all don't do anymore. There used to be a time if you had a beef with somebody, you had to fight. The neighborhood made sure of it. There was rules to the fight. People got in the middle and, niggas, somebody walk up and be like, all right, this was going to happen. You da-da-da. Ain't nobody going to jump in it. This, that, and the third. People be taking your stuff off you. Next thing you know, and y'all got a circle and you fought. When it was over, it was over. Because we still hood. And the whole neighborhood saw it go down. So it's done. If you had a beef with another neighborhood, your whole neighborhood went over there and we did the same thing, but it was fair. And sometimes you had to fight for your neighborhood. But y'all don't do that no more. But every time I would see a fight, as time got, closer to where we are now, I noticed that if one person started fighting, you could count on somebody jumping in it. Y'all quick to jump in somebody else's fight. Y'all quick to jump somebody. But yet y'all see 5 cops on one dude and there's 20, 30 of y'all out there and ain't nobody swing. Oh, y'all play the knockout game, huh? Y'all like play the knockout game? Y'all play a knockout game. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. We facts over feelings tonight, y'all. We all over the place. We got a lot to talk about. I hope y'all comfortable. I hope I'm not boring you too much because I'm trying to teach you something as I illustrate some of the seasons that we're in. What's happening in the sky? What's happening on the ground? What has happened in the past? What they doing to us right now? The laws that they're passing, acting like they smiling in our face. How they trying to wheel you in with the vote? How we trying to build our nation back? And I just need one or two of y'all to line up with me. Now, I'm not asking for a whole lot, but you would think that I was. Because some people, well, they just don't want to do that. That's not in their best interest. Now, the last thing that before I get into the other part of this lesson, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. I close out the case of Miss Johnson, who died because it's been 10 years, and still, after her family went and did this big special, they was all on TV and everything, and still nothing. Still nothing. I mean, pick up the phone and call call the Senate Arms Committee and say, what are we doing about Lavinia Johnson? I mean, for real, what are we doing? The same way somebody need to pick up the phone down in Georgia and call the Georgia governor and say, what are we doing about Kendrick Johnson? We need to go ahead and get that wrapped up. And somebody need to pick up the phone and call the governor of Kentucky and say, now we're going to arrest these boys for Breonna, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here's why I say these things. Because where we are as a community, we're getting to the point. Well, if you don't do something, we will. You see, I heard somebody say the other day, it was some white people that called them the N-word. And so they was like, yeah. That's why y'all didn't get George Zimmerman. And I had to be like, hold on a minute, cousin. First of all, Zimmerman is not white. Y'all forget that. I said Zimmerman was Latino. Okay? You know the same one sometimes you think of your friends? Okay? He was not white. He tried to act white and he got away with it. That's what that was. So don't mix the two together. I keep telling y'all, we don't have no friends. The only time we have friends is when they can make money off of us. We ain't got no friends. Look, I ain't mean to come here and get on y'all case like that. And I know the reason that a lot of y'all feel the way you do, because a lot of y'all been dealing with the COVID-19 and all kinds of stuff. But you really can't blame yourself because the government doesn't give a damn about you. Matter of fact, the government a long time ago decided they were going to try to get rid of you. If you have a copy, and y'all know I'm always in To Hold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. There is a section where they actually talk about where they got some memos. They got photocopies of these memos. And on these memos, they talked about, because some people are saying, I don't believe that the COVID-19 is real. Or some people say that it was manufactured. And we're on the other side of it now, of it being released. But it's interesting that there's a memo dated July 16th, 1969. And this is what it says. It says, there are two things about the biological agent field I would like to mention. One is the possibility of technological surprise. Molecular biology is a field that is advancing very rapidly. And eminent biologists believe that within a period of 5 to 10 years, it will be possible to produce a synthetic biological agent, an agent that does not naturally exist and for which no natural immunity could have been acquired. Hold up. Black people, I'm about to come back in the next hour. Remember, y'all hold that last thought. Facts over feelings is about to get deep up in here. I see y'all in the second hour. I hope y'all come back. Maybe there's something else more important going on. We facts over feelings. Grandmaster Jay.